Hey, hey. I just looked up and I was gone. So is anybody still here? I have more to talk about. So I'm going to have to look at my old video and see what happened and see where it ended off because I was going to talk about all the colors. So is anybody still on? Cindy, did it just go blank? You're watching now, but I looked up and it was like done. So I don't know what's going on. Well, I'm just going to continue this and I'll redo the colors if y'all missed that. I'll find out where that last one ended up. So okay, so we're talking about designing. This is a set that I have to design with. It comes with this lovely stamp set. It has a set of dies. It has these little tags. It has this wonderful embossing folder that does old world paper looking. I did it on copper. And then it has the dies that go with it, right? There we go. And let's see here. And it has this beautiful paper. So the gorgeous paper, which I've showed you before, is here. But I want to show you something. So on the back of each of the papers it has a list of all of the colors, the cardstock that go with that particular suite or of paper. So it lists out everything. So when I go to design, I pull out my cardstock. I pull out what they tell me, okay? And then I pull out my designer paper and I just kind of lay it out in front of me. Here we go. Let me do this. There we go. We've looked at this before. So I pull out all of it and then just kind of look and see what I want to do. Come on. I'm off my game now because here I was talking and I don't know how much you guys got to see. I had my whole little story about my colors. So I'm not sure if y'all saw that or not. So here is this beautiful paper. There we go. Last one. I'm showing front and back. Okay. So on the back of this it tells you all the cardstock that goes with it. So with this suite, but don't limit it to what they tell you because you can do more. It goes with the black. It goes with bumblebee, cinnamon cider, crumb cake, early espresso, love that deep, beautiful brown, misty moonlight, mossy meadow, and white. So I would have all this laying out in front of me, and then I would decide where I want to go. So what I do is I pull up on Pinterest. I design my own cards, but I will often pull up a sketch. So here's a sketch. My favorite sketches are like this. Just, it ended when you were putting the greeting on the vellum. Oh my goodness sakes. I have to do the whole thing over. Oh, that is so sad. All right. I don't know why it ended, but I'll redo it, Cindy. I have more cards. So I will do that, and then I will go back with the colors, but I will go ahead and talk to you about this. When I go on Pinterest, I don't like to look at anything that has color to it. I love these sketches. You can just put in card sketches. You can put in card designs, whatever. And some of them have sizes, so it gives you suggested sizes of this sketch, and some of them don't. But when I'm looking at this, it's a blank slate. I don't have a certain set in my head. I don't have a certain color in my head. I'm just working with this. So on Friday when I come back, I will be using the Beautiful World suite, and I will use this sketch. And I'll show you what I'm going to do with it. So that's my challenge to myself. Now, I am going to go ahead. Yeah, it happens. I can't believe that happened. Okay, So now I have to go through my whole little story. I'm gonna go through this really quick. So, Peter and I were walking in the misty moonlight, drinking cinnamon cider. He was wearing Just Jade. I was wearing Magenta Madness, which attracted a bumblebee. That's my story. That's my story for the colors. So, in looking at our new in colors, so phenomenal, I wanted to pull out our regular cardstock to show you what's close and what's not close, and kind of companion colors that would be fun. So starting out with our bumblebee, I pulled out some of our yellows so you could see. So Daffodil Delight, you can see the difference in it. Crushed Curry is the same tones. This has a little more gold to it, and so Saffron. Probably on there it looks pretty similar, but it is different. So those are my yellows with our bumblebee. And then Magenta Madness. I pulled out, my first thought was Melon Mambo. Totally different animal. This makes, you put this next to it, makes this look pink, pinker. Lovely Lipstick, which is going out. It's a retiring color, but very lovely. And Rococo Rose. Totally different, makes it look a little bit dingy compared to this one. Oh, Peter's bringing down my Stampin' Up. I got a delivery today. So that is my Magenta Madness. Now the Just Jade that Peter was wearing. We are blessed with many, many greens. So Garden Green, Pear Pizzazz, Pretty Peacock, which is kind of a blue-green. Let's see if I can pull this over. There we go, Pretty Peacock. Shaded Spruce, which I think, look at that lovely combination. Woohoo! That's going to be used together a lot. Mossy Meadow, Old Olive, way yellow, way too yellow, and Coastal Cabana, which I think these two colors would go nice together too. So those are, and the Pretty Peacock I like with that. So there's our greens. We have a lot of wonderful green, kind of blue-green and greens. All right, Cinnamon Cider. Now I'm going to be paranoid. I keep looking to see if we're still on. Hello, Jean. Cinnamon Cider. So to go with this, I thought of our terracotta tile, you might think. Oh boy, it makes it look so pink. Pumpkin Pie. Soft Suede. There we go. It's just a nice kind of companion print. Cajun, which I really like that with, and Crumb Cake. So, which ones would you use with these? I would use these three colors with this. I think those are really pretty, very rich. And last but not least is our Misty Moonlight. We have a lot of nice blues too. So here's our Misty Moonlight. And so Pacific Point, way brighter. Night of Navy, perfect companion print. This one again is leaving. I'm so sad about that. Blueberry Bushel and Balmy Blue. So Misty Moonlight is much different than what we have. It's a nice addition to our blues. So there we go. I'm going to pull that aside. Well, I'm sad about that, about the cards. Let me show you what I finished. So here's this little Happy Day card. And here is, I guess where it stopped. So I glued the vellum on and then it stopped. So what I said about this one is that I put this large cloud up on dimensionals. I put the dimensionals towards the inside of my object so that I could sneak things around it, like underneath. So this little cloud, I just snuck underneath that one. And then this little cloud, I put dimensionals on this end, and then a little bit of green glue where it was going to overlap on my big cloud. And then this cute little one. Same thing. So you put, when you're putting on your vellum, you want to use glue dots and you want to put it on the inside where you know it's going to be covered. So that was that. On Friday, I'll do some alternatives and show you some other things with that. So with that said, I'm going to turn the camera around. I am so sad that that happened. I didn't even touch it. I know that for Peter's exercise class, they were having trouble going out, so I don't know why Facebook left me. But you got to see the end result of the cards. You got to see my story for the colors. That's how I try to remember. You start living in Stampin' Up! Color. So when I was working, my friend Christy, who sat right next to me, we were totally into knowing and remembering all the Stampin' Up! Colors. So everybody that went by, we would say, oh, Melon Mambo. Oh, they're wearing Tempting Turquoise. Oh, isn't that a lovely Call Me Clover? So you start living in those colors, I think. Oh, I thought Peter was behind there. No. All right. So anyhow, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. That's how I remember the colors. I have to make up a little story and try to remember and get that embedded. And also, when I write down on the back of my cards, I always write the sizes that I'm using and the colors. The girls that come here know that. It's my little recipe I put on Post-it notes on the back of all my cards, which I have my 23 sitting back there. I always write out the whole color, because if you do that, you remember the colors. It's a lot easier to remember what color you're using. So that's it. I'm going to go back and look at, sorry that we had to check in twice today. I'm sorry that you missed part of that, but I went over the colors again and the designing thing. And that was one of the things that Terry wanted to talk about, was how I go about designing my cards, because I like to do my own designs. I don't like to copy off of Pinterest or from somebody else. I rarely would use a card that somebody else designed in a class or anything, just because that's what I love to do. That's the part I love, the designing. So I'm going to sign off. I am going to go and work on my new sketch that I pulled up. I will have information on my website, stampingjourney.com, regarding my open house. So I am going to have an open house, but this is how I'm going to run it. I will tell you, the designing thing was cool. Good. That's how I design. So this is the thing with, let me say that, one more thing about that. I start out with a sketch like that. What I end up with may be entirely different. So if you're like, you just can't like come up with something where to start. If you start with an empty, like a sketch like that doesn't put any colors in your head, decide what set you want to play with and stamp with. Bring all that stuff out, lay it out in front of you. It's inspiring because they are all these wonderful things that Stampin' Up! Has designed to go together. So it makes it very easy when you have matching ribbon and you have, your stamps match and you have dies that go together. I mean, it's an array of things specifically designed for us to make it easy, okay? A sketch just kind of brings it in. Like that one had a lot of different beautiful DSP, designer series paper. So I chose a sketch where I could get more of that paper in there. And that's why I chose that particular sketch for that. But it's a starter. It's a starter point, not something that you have to say, it has to be exactly like that. Don't do that. Let your mind just go. Start somewhere and go with it. Okay, so now on my open house. Boy, I love the designing part. Do you get that? My open house. I am going to run an open house on June 12th from 2 to 7, which is a Friday. And on Saturday, June 13th, from 9 to 2. However, 4 people at a time per hour. That's all. I have 2 8-foot tables back here, so we would have 2 at each table on the ends. So everybody, will have your distance. If you want to wear a mask, you go ahead, do whatever makes you feel comfortable. But you need to sign up with me, so I have only 4 per hour. 5 hours each day, we should be able to get a lot of people in. So if you want to come in with a buddy, Cindy and Chris, let me know together so I can put you down for that particular hour, what's going on. So I will have the hours and everything listed on my website, but you will need to contact me because I will have the master list of who's coming when. So that's it. That's it. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm sorry that it stopped and I didn't realize right away. So thanks for coming back. Those of you that came back, I'm so sorry. And I will be talking with you on Friday for Follow Up Friday. Thanks. Have a great day. Bye-bye.